Naima, and this channel is dedicated to dreamers. Ultimately, it's dedicated to those of you who have always wanted more, who have always felt like you were meant for more. Perhaps you have always felt different. And although your environment and your upbringing may not have supported you having more, being more, doing more, even as an adult, that feeling persists and you're ready to transform your relationship with money, transform your identity so you can have more than enough. I'm a woman who went from $7 in my bank account, sleeping on my mother's couch, to building a seven-figure coaching business in under 4 years. And so when I tell you it is your way of being that's required for you to permanently have more, that it is your way of being that requires changing for you to permanently have more, it's because I have done it and I've shown so many of my clients how to do it, and I have receipts. The receipts will come. I'm actually going to direct you to a page today where you're going to see just some of the receipts that I have. But I like to continue with this quote. And this is a quote that a former coach of mine used to always say. She was the first coach that I invested big money. When I say big money, the coaching package I bought from her was $30,000. You need to understand that in 2013, I was sleeping on my mother's couch. And in 2015, I invested $30,000 into this woman's coaching program. And I'm telling you that so no matter what I look like, because I know a lot of people look at me and think that I come from money. I literally had a woman tell me that about a week and a half ago. I mean, you look like you come from money. I don't know what this is. You talking about the hood and woo woo woo. And I looked at her and I said, exactly. So this work that I teach you, it works when you work it. And I want it so much for you. But here's the quote. She used to always say, money is not the most important thing, but it touches everything that is. Money is not the most important thing, but it touches everything that is. And I'd like to share this with those of you who, so many women I've worked with over the years, there's this like, well, love is the most important thing. And yes, please like the video. Like the video. Thank you for the person who has already liked it. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want more about one, the becoming, the energetic becoming that's required to have more, and then somehow. And really, this is a long game, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Let me finish this thought and then I'll move on to the 3 energetics, by the way. In this video, I'm going to be sharing today with you the 3 energetics that are required for you to end anxiety around money, because that's what this topic is today, how to end anxiety with money, your money anxiety, okay? So she used to say, money is not the most important thing, but it touches everything that is. Hello, Nakia. And then the Science of Getting Rich says that love is denied expression when there is a lack of money. Love is denied expression with a lack of money. So for mothers, I work with a lot of mothers who want so much more for their children. They want to put their children in private school, or they want to travel with their children and have their children receive a global lifestyle, a nomadic lifestyle, and really be built up and nourished and to develop into young adulthood by experiencing different parts of the globe. They want to hop around from country to country. That costs money. That's the way that you love your child, right? I know a lot of women who want to give money to their mother every month. That costs money. I know a lot of women who want to take care of themselves in very specific ways, like all the vain things, the hair, the nails, the spa and all that. But also they want to invest in higher level coaching. They're tired of little $50 courses that they got to chuck through by themselves. They want to hire a personal trainer. They want somebody to cook. They're tired of cooking all the time. They like to cook, but gosh, wouldn't it be great to have somebody come in this house and cook for us twice a week? Or to prepare my lunches so I can focus my energy on my business, or better on my family, and not have to cook 3 meals a day or 2 meals a day every day. These things cost money. And a lot of people have a lot of old anxiety, like anxiety that isn't even theirs. They feel a lot of like hardship, like money is hard. Like, I gotta perform some miracle. I gotta like leap from here to Zimbabwe to create money. I gotta sell my soul. And it's just not true. So I'm gonna share with you, and this is the beginning, right? So I'm getting ready to share with you the three, but I would like for us to continue the conversation. Okay, so this is what I've done. I've started a Facebook group called More Than Enough. Okay, if you're already on my email list community, you're going to receive that link today to come inside the More Than Enough community where more folks are coming in. We're having these conversations about money, all the details, all the intimate stuff. Okay. And I'm gonna be in there as well. So this is YouTube, this is a video, I'm here live, and when I'm gone, I'm gone. If you'd like to continue the conversation, start your own conversation, see some of the fears other folks are dealing with, see some of the nuances that you're not even thinking about. See when somebody says something that might be in your shadow that you didn't even know was there, that you're like, somebody just put words to something I've been struggling with. Like, that's the kind of stuff that happens inside of my Facebook groups, inside of my private program. This is what happens because people who are playing to win are in them. So if you're not already in the email list community, there's a link that's going to be beneath this video. I'm not going to tell it to you now because I don't want you to go there now. But when I'm done here, I'm going to place it beneath this video. At the bottom of that page is where you enter your email, and then you'll be sure to get the link. If you're not in time for today, you'll get it sometime during the week, okay? Because the invitation is going to go out at least 2 times during this week, okay? So that's that. Additionally, I feel like I want to share these announcements. So be patient. I'm getting ready to get to the 3 energetic requirements for you to permanently change your way of relating to money. I promise you I'm getting ready to get to it. But I like to share these announcements, especially for people who have been watching my videos for a while. So for those of you who have been watching for a while, you know that formerly I was opening with the Arrogant Witch channel, and this is for supernatural folk, etc. That still exists because it's who I am. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Like if I'm going to start another channel, I'm thinking about starting another channel because the world of masters, which it is what it is, right? I feel like there needs to be another home for that. Okay. So this is beyond witchhood. This is really supernatural folk, like truly. Okay. We are here on planet Earth without a doubt. And there's a home that's required for us. And I'm getting ready to retire from the way that I've been working. That's why this shift is happening. The way I've been working, what people are used to from me, the way I've been so accessible to folks, the way I've been so accessible, that is changing. And so I'm gonna open it up to where more people can come in at an affordable price. And then just some other shifts are gonna be happening. So More Than Enough is really the core of the work, whether I'm working with a larger, broader demographic or I'm working with supernatural folk. More Than Enough matters because no matter who you are here on planet Earth, the mere fact that you're in a body is you are meant to have more and to become more, whether you're born in Zimbabwe, China, or Hawaii. You are born to become more. You are born to have more. You are born to be more, whatever is more for you. So I'm broadcasting, I keep slipping off this chair. I'm broadcasting to you from my living room. I'm here in the Italian mountains. I live here. I'm actually rooting, not in this particular location, but I'm rooting in Italy. And so another specialty about those of you who are going to come in closer is if travel is important to you, like if being a nomadic traveler, okay, if having the freedom to travel around the globe is important to you and exciting to you and it's a priority to you, that's another reason to lean in, because I have so much to share with you about using travel to expand your More Than Enough consciousness, intentionally creating discomfort for yourself so you learn how to navigate foreign terrain, because as you're transforming your relationship with money, a lot of it is emotional or energetic foreign terrain. You're engaging in emotions and energies that you have avoided or been afraid of for whatever reason. Okay, so I think that's enough as far as announcements are concerned. So Again, like the channel, subscribe, share. And so let's get into it. So, the three energetic requirements, okay? The three energetic requirements for you to permanently. My goal is not for you to just have good money this month or have good money this year. My goal is that you go from wherever you are now to where it's normal for you to have money, where people look at you and they think you come from money because of how you be, because of how you talk, how you naturally think, okay? That's what this is about. And everything that I teach, that's what it's about. It's about a long game of transforming over the long term so it becomes your permanent way of being and even maturing as you navigate levels, okay? So the first energetic shift that's required for you to reduce your anxiety around money and permanently come into a way of more than enough is deciding that you're going to have a new feeling about money. Deciding that you're going to have a new feeling about money. So, how do you currently feel about money? When you think about having more, how do you feel? When you just think about money, period, how do you feel? How do you feel about people who do what you would consider financial bragging? How do you feel about what you call bragging? All right, so I just asked you a variety of questions. Which one do you feel like you would like to answer? Which one causes the most, like, okay, how do you feel about money? If you're currently waking up in the middle of the night, feeling anxious about money, what is the feeling? Is it, I'm not going to have enough to outlast my life? Is it that I'm single? I'm not married to a man who's going to take care of me? Is it I am actually completely provided for by my boyfriend or husband, but I don't know how to create my own money? And what if he leaves me? What if, as I'm getting older, he decides he's not attracted to me anymore and he goes to be with another woman and I'm left financially barren? What about it's like I'm getting older and I want to retire and like I'm afraid of making decisions with the money I do have saved up or with the money I do have in investments. I'm afraid to move that money around, or I don't feel financially literate to multiply my money. I'm scared of making a financial mistake. See, there's so many, right? All of us are at different financial thoughts and feelings about money, right? It may all be anxiety, but what is the current thought and feeling that you have around money? And what is the new one that you decide you'll have? I have an idea. And this is number one. I have two more. This is number one. I have an idea. First of all, I recommend, I give these things to you, but part of my way of teaching and leading is for you to create your own ways that come out of you organically. Because when it comes out of you, it's irrefutable. See, when it comes from me, you can be partially accepted, or you can feel like I'm above you. And I never want you to feel like I'm above you or, do what I say. I never want you to feel like that. At the end of the day, you are becoming responsible and the leader of your life, okay? Like the video if you've already found value, okay? So there's some books I want you to read and take some of these questions, go back and watch the replay of this and take some of the questions that I just asked you, or take the one that really stands out for you and go sit down and think about, okay, how will I choose to feel about this? When I wake up at 3 a.m. with my heart beating fast, what will I choose in that moment to replace that anxiety with? When I get an email from Fidelity Investments, right, inviting me to come, open up a brokerage account, and my anxiety triggers up because I'm I know that I'm avoiding making financial decisions, but I'm getting older. And what am I, right? What will I choose to feel instead? So there's a book that I invite you to read. It's called Sacred Success, A Course in Financial Miracles. The author is Barbara Stanny. Again, the name of the book is called Sacred Success, A Course in Financial Miracles. The author is Barbara Stanny. This book is all about women, money, and power. It is a wonderful book. The author, Barbara Stanny, by the way, she is the daughter of one of the H&R Block people. I can't remember if it's the H or the R, but you know the tax company H&R Block. She's the daughter of one of those, either the H or the R. And she talks about this in the book, how she, basically an heiress, had all this money because she's the daughter of one of the H or the R's. She had all this money, but she didn't have any power. She was afraid of money. She had no leadership over money. She had no financial literacy with money. And her husband, who was a manipulator, who was controlling, took control over her money, her power, her voice, her decision-making, and lost all of her money. And when she was at the financial rock bottom, she made a decision to get into power with money. And she did, and she wrote a book about it. And that's how Sacred Success, A Course in Financial Miracles was born. So in reading Barbara Stanny's story, please go buy that book today on Amazon. And in hearing my story and hearing my teachings, again, as a girl who I was raised in the ghettos of San Francisco until I was 18. I'm not somebody, if somebody looked at me at 8 years old, they might not think that I would be where I am today. And so the work that was required after Barbara Stanny hit her rock bottom, and each and every person I know who makes a very clear decision to change their relationship with money, there's their version of the bottom, whatever it is. They ran out of money, they're alone with money, they realize that they don't have any savings, they just wake up and they're like, I don't have any savings. They get some emergency in their life where they need money and they're terrified and they realize, I need to get it together with money. And finally, they start engaging in the very necessary work. Because having money, managing money well is not for mutual fund, trust fund children from wealthy families. It's for anybody who decides they're going to come into power with money. Anybody who decides they're going to come into power with money. So when I was constantly telling myself I couldn't afford things, constantly lying to people when I would get invited to go travel here or go to this fancy restaurant or go shopping, and I would lie and say, oh, I'm busy. Oh, I got to be here, or right? And doing that time and time again, and then constantly telling myself, I do want more. I'm ready for more. I'm willing to. And yet the money was not in the bank account to show that my word was showing up in my results. And when I got knocked around like that, and I kept getting confronted with my own reality, and then just fucking sick and tired of not having what I felt like I was meant to have, is when I started doing this transformational work. Everything I teach you. And it's deep and it's long and it's a commitment. And this is why it's so important that you not only come inside the More Than Enough free private Facebook group, but that you come into my 8-week More Than Enough money program, which I have totally changed it. I have drastically reduced the price. I'm letting you bring a friend for free. We're gonna do, listen, I told you, I'm retiring the way I've been working, and I'm reducing the price on this so a bunch of y'all can come in easy. The impact, more and more and more of you start to get these results, and you start pushing it out. Because when you have the results, it's undeniable. When you see the money in your bank account, it's undeniable. When you're having conversations you've avoided for years, it's undeniable. When you start healing in your body, it's undeniable. When you start being able to show up in the world and see where you were once blind and say things that you were afraid to say, when you're really ready to be visible consistently, be uncomfortable consistently, that's undeniable. Your pride goes up, your confidence goes up, then you go tell people. So this is like this level of retirement that I'm doing. I feel like it's going to be a win-win-win-win-win for everybody across the board. Please go ahead and like the video if you're already finding value. Okay, so to wrap up number one, because like I told you, I have two more. To wrap up number one, take one of the questions that I shared earlier, which one calls for you, and decide how you're going to feel about money when you have whatever feeling you have now, whether it's a feeling of dread, whether it's avoiding, like you avoid, anxiety, fear, like you feel like a child when it comes to money. I think I recall Barbara Stanley talking about she felt like she had all this money, millions, and she felt like a child when it came to money. And so her husband came in, controlled all the money, controlled her decision making, and lost all the money. I think she said he was a gambler or an unwise investor or something like that. But okay, so that's one. Decide. This is because this is an energy game. You're going to be hearing that a lot from me. This is an energy game. There's so much more to come. So that's number one. Decide the new feeling that you're going to replace the current feeling that you have about money, and write this down and be deliberate about it, okay? Number two is, where do you plan to use the money? Really think about it. You know what? I want to invert. I'm going to flip 2 and 3. I'm going to go to number 3 because I feel like 3 will help prepare you for 2. So let's flip this. So number 3 is, what do you fear will change if you either have more money or you get intimate with money? What do you fear will change? Now, what does this have to do with energy? So your energetic state is created by how you feel about a thing. Your energetic state, like my state right now, your state right now as you're watching me, there's an energy in the current state that you're in as you're watching me. There's an energy in the current state that I am communicating with you through this video. There's an emotion here. The emotion that I feel right now as I communicate with you live through this video is one of excitement, one of anticipation, one of abundance, one of gratitude. Like, this is all the feelings that I'm having as I'm communicating to you, okay? So this is a choice. This is my state, right? If I were to ask you, what's the emotional feeling you're having right now watching me, what would it be? So just right now, off the top of your head, what is it? Is it tired? Is it excitement? Is it anticipation? Is it worry? What is it? Okay. And when you imagine yourself, so that's boom, right? That's an awareness. You come into an awareness right here, right now. Now, when I ask you to use your imagination in this moment to think about, what do you imagine will change when you have more money? What do you imagine will change when you have, let's say, $20,000 in your bank account next week? What does it feel like when I even say that? What do you imagine will change when you have $50,000 in your bank? What do you imagine will change when people can see that you have more money than you ever have? When they can sense that you have more money, whether it's because of how you look, like now you're looking like money in a way that you've never looked like before. You're traveling in a way that you never have before. And money is a frequency. I remember watching Dick Gregory on YouTube, and he was talking about how in his lifetime, so many people would get around him and try to act like they have money and lie. And he's like, nigga, I can hear the tone in your voice. Nigga, you ain't got no money. Money is an energy. It's an energy. Naima, you seem like you come from money. Somebody said to you, you seem like you come from money. What they're saying is you feel like somebody whose natural way is abundance. You feel like somebody whose natural way is abundance. What would you feel like as your natural way being abundance? Okay. Now that's kind of like ahead. But that's where we're going with this. Because over time, all transformation takes time. And yes, transformation is a thought away. The great Gina DeVee has said that often. Transformation is a thought away. And to change that at a being level, and it's just how you be. You could have $0 in the bank account. When your energetic being is that of abundance, the conditions don't matter. Recession, okay, that's life. Crypto is crashing, okay, that's the cycle of life. Oh God, Russia has invaded Ukraine. Yep, there's been war since the beginning of man. Like your being versus what may be your current state of, oh, my bank account is getting low. Fuck. You get hit with an unexpected multi-thousand-dollar bill and your heart sinks and you can't sleep. That's because you've yet to, because you will with this work, you've yet to create a new way of being. So to get to the new way of being, you got to address what's stopping you from even engaging with money, with wealth, with who you are, your relationship with money. And one of the questions again is, what do you imagine will change with you having more money? I want you to write this down and actually do this as a homework assignment. What do you imagine will change with you having more money? Okay. Now, when you have that, because I'm getting ready to go, like I said, I took 3 and made it number 2. Now I'm getting ready to go back to number 2. Let's say you imagine that when you have money, now your family will think you're an ATM all of a sudden. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're finding value and you want more women to see this, more people. How about that? Man, if I start making more money, my family is going to think I'm an ATM now, and they're going to think I'm better than them, and that's going to change our relationship. And I don't like, I still want them to see me as me. I don't want them to think I've changed. That could be one. Mine used to be, I'm afraid of making more money than my mother. But it was only when I started asking these kinds of questions to see why am I acting like this with money? Why am I saying I want more? Why am I feeling like I should have more? I keep working hard, but it's not showing up in the bank account. Okay? So when you do this come into awareness of what do you imagine will change, how you will feel. I remember I realized after working hard and thinking I wanted more, and I got down into the shadow element of it, which again, that's part of this work we'll be doing as you come in closer and you come inside the More Than Enough group, and particularly when you come inside of the 8-week More Than Enough program, which I'm getting ready to share here in just a few moments. When I started really interrogating this intimately and being held accountable, I realized I did not want the responsibility of money. But that only came when I got intimate. And I started asking questions and being honest in my answers. I did not want the responsibility of managing more money. So now once you do this is number 2, you go on to number 3, which is, where do you plan to use the money? This is where it gets exciting. Where do you plan to use the money? Travel, right? And I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because I think for most people, regardless of how much we just start listing our dreams, like, yeah, I want to go to Fiji, and man, I want to go to Hawaii, man, I want to take my kids and my mom to, Peru, and I want to, we'll list all day, but back there, we don't really believe it. What I'm telling you, as you start to do this work, I promise you, okay? So here's some receipts. Remember I told you earlier I have some receipts, okay? So this link is gonna be placed beneath this video. It's not there now, but you can go there now if you can find a way to go to this page and watch me simultaneously. If you can't do both simultaneously, then wait and then go, okay? So the website is naimasingletary.com/more. You'll find some receipts there. It's a video of receipts of women who worked with me inside of a 4-hour workshop in London. naimasingletary.com/more. Okay? naimasingletary.com/more. Okay? Now, on this page, there's 2 things. One, like I said, if you're not already on the email list community, this is the page that you go to send me your email to receive the link to join the free More Than Enough Money group. okay? The free More Than Enough Money group, okay? On Facebook, okay? So at the bottom of this page, naimasingletary.com is where you enter your email so you receive that invitation, okay? What's also on this page is the 8-week program, okay? This is a big deal. Listen close. This is a big, big deal. I'm telling you, this is a big deal. Now, this course is currently listed at $1,500. Women have already paid $1,500 to be a part of this course, okay? And let me actually read real quick. I'm not going to go into the details of each module, but I'll just tell it to you right now so you have some understanding of what's included. It's 8 weeks. We start on May 30th, which is Memorial Day. And it's 8 weeks. Week 1 is true desire. Week 2 is deep thinking. Week 3 is melting fear. Week 4 is making space. Week 5 is being not doing. Week 6 is choosing courage. Week 7 is the audacity to expect and visibility. I should put that in there. And week 8 is receiving rituals. Now, I'll go more into it inside of the private group, but in the interest of time here tonight, I'm not going to go into it. Now, the whole purpose of this 8 weeks is that at the end of the 8 weeks, you will have achieved or you will be dramatically closer to achieving a very specific, tangible, measurable goal. So if it's a financial goal, you will have reached it or you will have dramatically or even exceeded it or dramatically gotten closer to it. Now, yes, of course, the desires for you to achieve the goal. And remember, going from where you are right now in your relationship with money, how you think about money, how much is in your bank account, how you live. This is bigger than money. This is your whole life, okay? How you relate to letting in love. It's not just about more than enough money. It's about time. It's about space. It's about where you just easily take care of yourself. It's not a struggle to self-care. It's not like you burn yourself out and finally realize you need to go take care of yourself. It's normal for you to take care of yourself. I want, please, 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 please get this. I don't show up here just to help you make money. Like once you learn how to make money, you realize how easy it is. It's that you're not going to even have any emotional, energetic charge around money the way you do now as you work with me inside of this course and inside of the membership, because there's a membership too, over the long term. The current anxiety you have, the current you know what I mean? Like how I used to feel about big numbers and like, I remember a coach said, you know, each and every one of you could do $100,000 this year with one client, but you're not going to because you don't believe you can. And I remember being so like, bitch, and just like all the drama that so many of us have. And it's okay. Like, I get it. It's what 99% of humans are, because we all get conditioning from our homes, which most of us come from homes of scarcity and our parents just didn't know. And so by the time you really get to a place of, and it really depends on how hard you go, but, and I don't mean hard like breaking yourself as far, you know, like exhausting yourself unnecessarily, but I mean like some people are just aggressive. Some people want to take their time. The point is, when you work with me, I'm helping you change at core levels. You go from where you are now to where, girl, you seem like you come from money. To do that, there are practices involved. There are ways of being, and it's work. Like, this is the real work. It's not hustle. It's not work. And for those of you who have been working, and your bank account is not reflecting how hard you've been working, you know that it's not just about busy work. It's about your way of being. Okay, and I'm going to recap the 3 energetic requirements for you to start to permanently shift your way of being into more. I'm going to recap those in closing. However, so this course is currently $1,500, and I haven't decided what it's going to go to, but I feel like it's going to be much more, because it's going to be, anyway, I'm not going to get into it right now, but like I said, I'm backing up, and I'm going to make myself available for folks who prove themselves to be ready to play at bigger levels. Okay. The truth is, when you are in what I call infancy stages of transforming your relationship with money, you really got to put in that grassroots, like fundamental work. And that's what this 8-week course is teaching you. Now, what I have done Girl, listen. If you're ready to transform your relationship with money, this is what I've done. So this course that folks have already paid $1,500 for, I've made it $495. Not only have I made it $495, I'm going to let you bring a friend for free. So what that means is you can either gift your friend and say, hey girl, I got this course and I get to bring a friend for free, your brother, your mom, whoever. Or you can go to your friend and say, hey, let's split this. You pay for it. Tell her, hey, give me half, or y'all do whatever y'all do to split it up. Do it however you want to. But the point is, you and a friend, family member, colleague, employee, whoever, both of you can have this 8-week course for $495. Okay? It's only $495 until Friday, then it goes up to $595. Each week, the price is going to go up. How high it's going to go, I do not know. Actually, I don't know. Like, I'll figure that out later. But here's the goal. Here it is. To make this easily accessible to where more and more and more people can come into my framework to create a reality of more. Darling, this is beyond shallow affirmations. I am rich, I am abundant. This is beyond that. This is beyond money spells. This is beyond manifestation. A lot of the fleeting manifestation techniques that you see, okay? This is about tapping into what you hold in your body as true right now. What you hold in your psyche as true right now. What you have, what's truly in your heart. What's in your heart? And what is in your current energy body, right? What's you hold in your body that you've been holding since you were a child as it relates to what you can and cannot have and who you are and are not. So this is really deep work. Admittedly, it is difficult work. Let me give some example about what I mean by difficult. Then I'm going to close with recapping what the 3 are and then inviting you to sign up today for this, okay? What questions do you have? What do you need to say yes? You cannot lose in this course. Everybody who leans in close with me wins. When I say everybody, I mean everybody. Even if that winning is them coming to a greater level of clarity of what is for them. How many of you are confused, going in circles, cloudy, feeling unable to make a decision? You come in closer with me, at worst, you gain greater clarity. At best, you become more than you've ever been. And you actually reach your financial goals and other tangible goals that you have. And even the untangible ones like greater confidence. So what do I mean by what you hold is true in your body that prevents you from getting into intimate relationship with money? One of the exercises that we're going to get into in week 1 inside of the More Than Enough 8-week course, which starts May 30th. Week 1, we get into true desire. In that true desire, we start with where you picked up your first memories of money. Where did you pick those up? So when I first did this assignment and I tracked my first memories of money, I realized that it was my mom constantly saying, I'm not paying that kind of money for that. I'm not paying that kind of money for that. I'm not paying that kind of money for that. And as a child, the story that I created, because I guarantee you, you have a story about money right now, conscious or unconscious, you have a story about money. The story that I created as a little girl was, other people can have what they want, but I cannot have what I want. So how many of you are really good at cheering other people on? Yes, girl! Your friends, your sisters, your colleagues, people in your life come to you and tell you something, working on a goal, a dream, and you are a great cheerleader. You're encouraging and loving and supportive, and you are the one that they come to for upliftment. You are that person, but you're unable to do that for yourself. You're unable to allow yourself to have that trip to the south of France. You're unable to let yourself travel solo for the first time. You're unable to let yourself invest in this high level queen coaching program. You're unable to let yourself receive the love and attention. You don't even let yourself believe that somebody can love you in a multitude of ways, right? But you can do that for other people because you perhaps are like I was, that other people can have what they want, but I can't have what I want. And it's just amazing how I still cry about, because this touches everybody, most people in some way. The Science of Getting Rich talks about life, and that the impulse of life, it cannot help itself. The impulse of life cannot help itself. It must grow. Depression is a sickness. Pain is a disease. It's a dis-ease. And there's something that's going on in your psyche, in your body, that's preventing you from doing the natural impulse of, it's natural to desire more. That is natural. To be sick, to be in I can't afford it, to hurt, to hold back out of fear, false evidence appearing real, to not have, to long for and never have, to want and want and want and want, but sadly never have, is a sickness. It's a dis-ease. And so to realize where it came from is freedom. It is freedom to know where you picked up the story, that you 42, 43, 50, walking around with a story that you created at 8 years old, that other people can have what they want, but I can't have what I want, and that you can then correct it because you let love in, you let help in, you came into More Than Enough, you came into the free Facebook group, you came into the $29 a month recurring membership. So you're supported over the long term. Because this takes time, sweetheart. I have been doing transformational work and helping women for 11 years. I started in 2011. I didn't even get serious about the money until 2014. So from 2011 to 2014, what was I? Feast or famine. I would have money, then I wouldn't. Then I would have money, then I wouldn't. Then I would get a chunk of cash and go hurry up and spend it because I didn't know when more was coming. It would be like the big payday, right? You get paid on the first, go spend all the money, and you still got a week and a half left before you get your next chunk of money. Feast or famine. That's what it was for me, because the story I had going was other people can have what they want, but I can't have what I want. And I never let myself have the things I really wanted. So we start with, where did you create your first stories about money? And in that, you start being able to create a new story. And that's why number one of the three here, the three energetic ways of being that I shared here today, about how to permanently create a way of being that is more than enough. How to permanently, not just today or for a week or for 2022, but for the rest of your life, where you stop letting anxiety take over your decision making. Okay? You get power over that. I've watched this. I've been doing this for a long time. So, but that's why number one is, what's the new decision for how you will feel about money? What's the new decision for how you will feel about money? And I invite questions now too, for those of you who are here live. I invite questions. Even if you're watching this as a replay, put them in the comments, okay? So we start doing that in week one. And so I'm telling you that little bit to let you know you cannot lose no matter what. You just cannot lose. So you get to come into this course for $495. It just doesn't get okay. $495, and you split it with a friend, it's $250. Okay, so it's 8 weeks, and then after the 8 weeks, you can stay inside of the $29 a month recurring monthly membership, so you continue to be supported, because true lasting transformation takes time. True lasting transformation takes time. Where people look at you 6 months from now, a year from now, and say, you seem like you've always had money. People who have known you and watched your process say, Wow, your glow up is extraordinary. Your glow up is extraordinary. So, what I invite you to do in closing is go to naimasingletary.com/more, register. Remember, the price increases $100 after Friday. You get to have a friend come in for free. If you have questions, send an email to help@naimasingletary.com. Help@naimasingletary.com. Also, if you know you're not coming into the course, but you'd like to start to be able to connect with folks and just, I guess, tip your toe in the water, okay? Because we're all at different levels. It's okay to be wherever you are. Please know, please do not look at me as above you. Don't look at me as like, do what I say. It's not that. It's really about you getting return to who you were before you were poisoned. Returning to who you were before you were poisoned by your upbringing, which is your godlike state. Returning you to your godlike state and turning up the volume on him or her. Turning up, okay? So, at the bottom of the page, remember, if you're not already on the email community list where the link is going to go out to join the group, you enter your name and email there. If you're already on the email list, you're going to receive your invite today, okay? So, in closing, I keep saying in closing because I know I'm wrapping up. The 3 energetic requirements that I have shared here with you today to begin to create a normal, permanently, of more than enough in your way of being is number 1, make a new decision for how you will feel about money. For when you wake up in the middle of the night, when you're looking at a price tag on something and you have this knee-jerk reaction, like I used to have I can't afford it. I can't afford that. Where you change that, okay? So that's number 1. Number 2 is what do you fear will change when you have more money? Or what responsibility are you afraid of? What do you fear will change? And what responsibility are you afraid of? That's number 2. Number 3 is where do you plan to use the money that will naturally start to come into your world when you change your way of being and engage in what I call money generating activities. For those of you who are entrepreneurs, okay? Money generating activities. So lastly, this is truly lastly, okay? As you look around, regardless of your network, whether you're currently doing $50,000 a month, or a year, right? Or you're currently at millions a year. When you look around, you see that a small number of people actually become their version of great. A small number of people actually become their version of great. A lot of people are reading books, are doing all kinds of busy work to make themselves feel productive. A lot of people are going in loops. They're going in loops like I used to go in loops. I want more, I do, I'm willing, I'm a work hard, I'm willing, but still going in loops. Feast or famine, feast or famine, feast or famine, going in loops. Very few actually permanently change their financial reality, change their way of being where it's normal to have more, where their decision making is elevated, who navigate foreign terrain, who navigate difficulty, learn how to navigate discomfort, learn how to be with more. Having is learning how to be with more. When I say more, I don't mean even just more money. I mean more attention, more help, more responsibility, even being with higher energy. Like, how do you be with, this is advanced, and I'm not gonna go there right now because I don't want you to be overwhelmed. I want you to give yourself the time and space. That's what the free More Than Enough community does. That's what my 8-week More Than Enough course does. And that's what the membership, the More Than Enough membership does. It gives you the time and the space, depending on how much space you will give yourself, to gently come in. Decide how you're going to go about this. Are you going to bulldoze and go fast and hard and now? Because that's just your style. You like to get in there, get it, produce the result, and go. Or you want to really ease into it, relax into it. The options are there. My work with you, remember this, please, is core levels. It is difficult. You can do it. Absolutely, you can do it. And it is difficult. Nobody becomes a part of the 1% club, the 5% club, the 10% club without paying a price. And when I say pay a price, I'm not talking about money alone. I'm talking about making decisions that you're currently avoiding. I'm talking about playing with winners. Nobody wins in a vacuum. Nobody wins in a corner figuring it out by themselves, alone. Nobody. So you moving different, being around people who play to win versus playing not to lose. Playing, yes, Nakia says, is difficult, but it's worth it. Absolutely. Those are prices to pay. And what I can tell you as somebody who knows what it takes to move through being in a place where you're doing all the right things and it's not showing up, but holding the end in mind, navigating foreign frequency, navigating huge discomfort over and over and over and over and over again. Because I have decided, which you will do or you won't, decided that this is mine. Consistent $10,000, $20,000 months or more is mine. Deciding that travel as a lifestyle is mine. You deciding that for yourself. Travel as a lifestyle is mine. That I will not sit in this, in my mind, I feel like I'm supposed to have more. Sitting in this, I want it so bad. Oh my God, I want it so bad. But never having it. Because like Gina DeVee has always said, and I appreciate, wanting does not get it into your world. Deciding that it's yours and committing to having it is what gets it into your world, gets it into your bank account, gets it into your reality. And practicing that way of being is what makes it a permanent way of being in your life, whether you're 35, 45, 55, or older. Okay? So if you have questions, send them to me. I am in a big transformation myself, where I am retiring, and I actually feel really good about this. I have been resting so much. I'm here in the mountains, and the rest has really allowed me to make some decisions to prepare myself for the next decade or more of my life. And so this way that I am leaning back, giving you everything you need, serving you in these very specific ways at a core level. You cannot lose. Learning how to develop a relationship with money is one of the most important relationships you will ever develop in your life and will impact your life for the rest of your life. So let's get rid of the anxiety, the fear, the worry. Do the homework that I shared with you in today's video. Send me your questions. Sign up before Friday. Before the price goes up, go tell your friends and get inside the group. That's a lot going on. Huh? Get inside the group so we can continue this conversation of More Than Enough, okay? You are loved. You can have what you decide is yours. You have what you decide is yours. You have what you decide is yours. And More Than Enough is here to help you to have it. So lots of love. I'm going to be here every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern, every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And so I look forward to connecting with those of you who are ready to continue the conversation starting tomorrow, honey, or at least within this week inside of the free More Than Enough Money group. Lots of love. And I'll see you Monday or even sooner if you come inside the group. Mwah! Ciao from Italia.